Hey, Tony.
Hey, Amanda.
I'm Amanda Robinson. I am the digital gal,
I'm Tony Christensen. I'm Tony Does Ads.
and
And what are we
welcome.
talking about today?
we welcome to Ecamm's Leap into Live Streaming Bootcamp. Today we're talking about Facebook advertising tactics to promote your live stream.
And we're kind of live here, but we're on Zoom. Local. It's a local live.
Normally, you will find Tony and I live streaming with our Managing Expectations show, where we talk everything you need to know about behind the scenes of Facebook advertising. But today, we have a pre-recorded session coming to you, so this is going to be a little bit different than our normal format. But you get the point, right, Tony?
We're still doing it live, though.
We're still doing it live, basically. Same format, same thing. We just don't have live commenters to bring up on screen while we're doing this one. All right, so what are we covering off today, Tony?
Yeah, so today we're going to give a bunch of different tips and strategies for promoting a live show and different live streams that you might have going for you and your brand and your business and all that fun jazz.
All that fun jazz. So let's start us off with some tips about live streaming if you're going to be using this in an ad down the road. And then we're going to flip into some tips to help you with pre-promoting your live stream to get more viewers on board with watching your live show. Sound good?
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a game plan.
I think we violated some of these tips, which is how we know to talk about them, which is funny.
This is like Fight Club. The first rule of Fight Club is not to talk about, the first rule of promoting Facebook Lives is not to talk about Facebook Lives.
But I think that's a good point is, we run ads for a lot of different people, and we when you go to promoting a live stream, it's a lot different than running ads. And sometimes you don't remember things that you may have shown or shared or mentioned or had someone comment or something. So all of that kind of comes into play when it comes to promoting your live show. So you definitely have to think about these tips and things to know.
Exactly. All right. So some of these tips, let's dig right in. Some of these tips before you go to promote a live stream that you've already done is that you got to make sure on your live stream that you're following all of Facebook's rules for advertising, the Facebook's ad policies. So if you go and Google Facebook ad policies, it'll pull up a whole list for you. It's written in plain language. It's actually quite easy to read through and understand. But incorporated in some of those are things such as profanity. So you can't swear on your live stream and then try and turn that into an ad later on. As well, you can't have swearing going on down in those comments. So keep it clean, people, especially if you want to repurpose this for an ad later on.
Yeah, I think especially that goes for if you're using a program like Ecamm, for example, and you're showing comments and one of those has a cuss word, Facebook's going to be able to scan and see that and then not promote your live stream. So you definitely want to keep that into mind.
And Facebook is scanning your audio. So everything that we are saying right now, while you're live streaming, it's actually, we just discovered this feature on our latest live where it's auto captioning in real time. So that just goes to show the power of how Facebook is translating that data on the spot. So you can't really get anything past Facebook. And that goes to show when it comes to taking your live stream, your scheduled live, and trying to push that into a Facebook ad. It's a little bit tricky. It's a bit of a no-no. So we have some workarounds and other things that you can do that we recommend. But these are all things that you need to keep in mind. You need to plan ahead when it comes to creating ads related to your live streams. It's not as straightforward as it was a year ago, right, Tony?
Yeah, it's changed quite a bit.
It has.
And one of the other tips, which we haven't mentioned, and I think it's really easy to do, especially when you have a live show and you're talking about, if you're doing any kind of social media marketing live show, you're typically going to show like the Instagram logo or the Facebook logo or any sort of breaking news with those. So it might be in your thumbnail even. You can't have that either.
Unfortunately, you can't have that and try to promote that as an ad. It's not going to work. So there are a lot of do's and don'ts. A lot has been discovered through trial and error. And because Facebook changes so quickly, there are things that you used to be able to do a year ago, such as you used to be able to promote your live stream, your scheduled live, before you went live, if you were a verified page. Now that whole ball game has completely changed, and Facebook is not allowing you to pre-promote a scheduled live video in your ads. Now, you can schedule a live video up to 7 days in advance of going live. So an old tactic used to be create the scheduled post and then promote it, put a lot of ad dollars behind it, get a lot of eyeballs on that, a lot of people clicking the get reminder, and then you'll have a large audience that's getting that little notification reminder when you do go live. So a lot has changed since then. So Tony, what do you think? Should we get into what you can do with pre-promotion?
Yeah, Now that we
Awesome.
told you what not to do, here's what you can do.
Here's what you can do. So we're going to walk you through kind of 3 stages of this. We're first going to start out at the easy level, then we're going to go up to intermediate, and then we're going to go to advanced on what you can do to promote your live streams with using software such as Ecamm Live. So Tony, why don't you start us off with the easy level? What is the easiest thing that people can do to pre-promote their live stream using Facebook ads?
Yeah, so this is one that's definitely the easiest to do. It's also one that we say is easy because it might not necessarily be the best. But we'll go over that. Don't worry, we got your back. So this first one is basically making a post, and this could be even your previous live show, or you're creating, like if you have a highlight reel of your show, and posting that on your page, and then just boosting that post. And I think if you're going to be boosting it towards something like your engagers, then maybe it is an image that talks more about your show. If it's someone that hasn't heard about you and you're trying to boost it, I would target, someone with one of those trailers, and like kind of like a hype video of your show that grabs people's attention and actually makes them want to kind of engage with it. So that's kind of the first main one. I'm sure you have some stuff to add.
Yeah, I always do, Tony. I always do. Yeah, so as Tony's saying, the easiest way to go is just to create a regular post on your Facebook page that has either an image of your show, an image of you, an image of what you're going to talk about with less than 20% text in the image. So you make sure that you're following those Facebook's ad policies and not putting more than 20% text in. Otherwise, your ad's going to get rejected. And using that post, if it's either a still image or a video, whether it's a highlight reel of lives that you've done in the past, or sort of a nice highlight reel to attract brand new people who have never met you or never seen your live stream before into the broadcast, depending on however you're targeting that ad with that post that you're making. It is really important to make sure that your targeting is on point, your image is on point, and your message is on point to get people straight to the point what they can expect out of that live stream. Now, unfortunately, this is the easiest way, but you can't link it directly to your live stream. If you try to put a link in that post to a scheduled live, so you're trying to run a Facebook post ad linking to another Facebook post, Facebook doesn't like that. Same with if you try to, it's no different than if you were trying to promote a post that had a link to a Facebook group in it. You can run into some issues there. Facebook doesn't like you putting ad dollars into promoting groups. Same with promoting live streams. They make it a little more difficult. So with that said, so that's the easiest way. And when Tony is saying boost a post, that's either using the boost post button after you've created a post, or going in through Ads Manager and creating an ad using Ads Manager, which is the more preferred method. But if you're not at that level yet, there's nothing wrong with boosting a post. It's completely okay. So we'll consider this like pre-promotion for your show.
Yeah, and just to add it a little bit more, that one's an interesting one because it is, boosting a post is an engagement campaign. So it's basically going to be showing your ad to people that are more likely to comment, share, like that post. So it's kind of an interesting one. And that's why it's kind of the easy one to start gaining awareness, but actually bringing those people to your show, there could be a gap there. So you definitely want to keep that in mind. But no, if you do have these people engaging on your post, you can invite them to like your page, and then hopefully they'll be able to start to see your new posts that come on. Or if they like, you can then comment and talk to them a little bit more about your show and kind of get them thinking about your show to show up when it happens next.
Exactly. All right, so let's park that for a minute. So that's the easy way to go. We're just making a post and we're boosting it, talking about the upcoming live. It doesn't have a link to the actual live video. It doesn't have any way of notifying the person when you go live. So then what's our next stage to actually invite people to like something or engage with something that's going to notify them when we're going live?
Yeah, so this is an interesting one that you'll want to do. I think this is one of my preferred methods, definitely. But basically getting the event page of your live, and if you have continuous streams, like I don't know if you're going to share your screen or not, but I know we have an event that shows each of our live shows. It's recurring reminder kind of thing that's set up. So
this is by creating a Facebook event. So not a third-party landing page, nothing else like that, nothing fancy, just an event that we've created on Facebook with the future dates of all of our live streams.
Yeah, and it's kind of an interesting one to promote. I think, do you have to do it from the actual event page or from the Facebook page? I don't know if you can do it through Ads Manager, can you? Or can you?
No, we were testing this
It's
out.
a
We're
kind of a weird
testing out the
roundabout way.
landscape of what's working and what's not in
Yeah.
current Facebook status. But how you can promote an event on your page from your page is you actually have to go onto your Facebook page to your event itself and use that fancy little boost post button, boost event. So you have to do it right from your page, right from within the event that you created on Facebook. Now, Tony and I have ours set up in a unique way. We have it set up as a recurring event. So we have an event created for our Managing Expectations live show. It's set up as a recurring event. We go live every single Tuesday. So you'll see multiple different events living inside this one event. We cannot promote and boost each individual show. So we have this coming Tuesday's show. That's already, inside that big event. We can't promote just that one little date. We have to promote the global series of events that we have scheduled in there. So that's one little bit of a drawback, but by promoting the event as an entirety, by going to your page, clicking on the going into your event, and then boosting the event with the boost button, that's allowing us to circulate the event and get people to click on that they're interested in this event. And that way they're going to be getting reminders when that event is occurring. So that is a fantastic way for us to get notifications into people's Facebook inboxes to let them know that we are going to be going live.
And that's kind of the beauty of that one compared to kind of that easy just boosting a post where, yeah, sometimes actually pulling those people back, the attribution of bringing them to your show can be tough. When you're doing this, they're getting that reminder when you go live, which is really nice. And it is nice. And most people, if they're doing a show, hopefully it is kind of a recurring and consistent show. So you can do that, or just split it up and you can have kind of each event for each show and promote that as well. So different strategies there.
And then if you are getting a little more advanced, so again, the problem with what we just described with creating an event, a Facebook event for your live stream, so it will notify people who said they're interested at the time that it's going to happen. What happens is they just get notified an event's going to happen. And that's it. It's not a link to the actual live post that they're seeing. At least it's not if you are promoting an event that has a multiple series in it. So then we need to get a little more creative, and we need to take yet an additional step of getting a little more advanced on the scale here to be able to push this information out to people to get them when they click to go directly to the live broadcast while it's in progress. And Tony, how are we going to do that?
So I can talk about my way. Maybe you can talk about yours.
All right, let's talk about your way, and then I'll talk about my way.
Yeah, so my way and its way, I used to do it for our show when we were kind of starting off, is basically work on really building your email list. So think about what kind of value you might be able to give to people. So it's kind of working on building a campaign that generates leads and to get people onto an email list. And then basically leveraging that email list to, and there's different ways you can do it. Like you can just send out an email once maybe about the show. You can kind of get the replay viewers after the week in a recap and get them coming back. Or each day that the shows goes live, you can kind of talk about, and I think Andrew and Pete did this for a while, where they were talking about, we're going to go live today and we're going to talk about these things. And then if people are interested in that, they'll show up at that time, or you can send them to that event page so they can click interested and then get that reminder on that time.
Yeah. And when we're talking about using ads to drive that engagement and that awareness of your live streams, what we're talking about here is leveraging your email marketing list by acquiring new subscribers to your list. So using some type of lead generation, something where you're putting ads out on Facebook but capturing their email address, whether you're using a Facebook lead form or whether you are using an ad to push people to a landing page where they can sign up for those email notifications, and then leveraging the power of your email list to spread the word on these lives when they're happening and get people engaged that way. The reason we're doing this workaround is because Facebook's rules have changed quite a lot, and we don't have the same flexibility we used to quite some time ago where you saw lots of people promoting their live streams. So the rules have tightened a bit. This is one of the workarounds.
Yeah, and a good way to kind of get people excited for your show too, and I know we've leveraged this at times, is doing like a giveaway. So if you have a training that you're doing, a coaching thing, or you have something you can work with sponsors and do some sort of giveaway, in that email you can say, hey, show up to the live show. We're going to pick a live person on that show and give away X product to whoever's there and commenting or whatever it may be.
Exactly, adding a little bit of added incentive. And that's actually a great segue into how we use some added incentive to leverage messenger marketing chatbots to get people to come to our live streams and attend them live. So One way we've done it is the original, the OG way is back in the day when messenger marketing chatbots were very easy. We could send out a broadcast message to anybody that we wanted after they've engaged with our page in the last 24 hours or engaged with our messages after the last 24 hours. And that was easy because on our live stream, we could say, hey, click on get reminder if you want to get reminded about next week's live. And then we'd send out a broadcast that would hit your inbox and you'd get a notification of when we're going live. And that notification would link directly to the post where we are going live. And that you can set up using a third-party tool like ManyChat, which is what I use for messenger marketing. So that's one way of doing it. But then again, Facebook rules change. They tighten up a little. So then messenger marketing rules have tightened up a little. And we don't have as much flexibility with sending out those broadcast messages. So what we have to do is get a little more creative. We can do that in a couple ways. ManyChat, messenger marketing, and Facebook now have something called a one-time notification. So you can get people to opt in to get a one-time notification for the next time that we're going live. Then once you've used that one-time notification, that's what it is, the one-time notification. You can't use that again. They have to opt in to another one-time notification. So that's one tactic that you can use. Ways we've done it is by having people comment on existing live streams. So while we're live, we can say comment below with freebie if you want to get our free download and get reminded about next week's live show. And when they engage, they download that, it activates our little system, and then away we go. They get a notification the following week when we go live, and we've got their permission for it. Another way around that is by leveraging messenger marketing chatbots to get them to opt in. And if you capture their email address right through a messenger marketing bot or capture their text, their phone number through a messenger marketing bot, then you can text them when you're going live or just generate an email right from within ManyChat when we're going live. And that could link right back to your actual live post on where you're going live. So those are some additional little workarounds on how we do it. You can also take links for your bot and put that into a Facebook ad. You can also have ads, Facebook ads that link directly to Messenger. So you can have people click right into Messenger, right into a whole Messenger conversation that's asking them, hey, do you want to get reminded when Amanda and Tony go live with managing expectations? Yes or no? And then have a bot conversation from there. So you can get very, very creative with it. So between the comment growth tool, having people comment on posts to get reminded of future lives, or having them click a link that goes into your bot, sending that link out via email to get them into your bot, there's many different ways of getting people to engage with your bot. But where we're going with a lot of this is that there are ways to promote a one-time going live show, and there are ways to promote a recurring show by leveraging your actual show. So at the end of the show, remind people on how they can get those reminders. Give them instructions on how they can engage and get reminded down the road. But if you don't have a recurring show and you're just looking at getting the word out for a one-time event, then Tony, what are your thoughts?
For a one-time event, out of everything we've discussed, you put me on the spot.
I always put you on the spot. That's how we roll.
That's a good one. I mean, I feel like the bot works really well when we went over it. I don't know about the one time. I think it does work maybe the best for a one time, but I think that or just the boosting the event post, kind of like what we talked about. I think those are probably going to be my 1 and 2. What about you? Did I get that right?
For me personally, I think I'd flip them around and just say if it's just a one-time event, it may not be worth all of the added effort. Depends on how big the event is and how much effort and money you want to put in behind it. If it's a really, really big event and you just got one shot and you got to get it right, it's not like a recurring show where you do have to do it over and over and over and you have multiple chances to perfect it. If it is a one and done, and you have the budget for it, then maybe going the chatbot route will be great for you by being able to really leverage that, sprinkle it in as many channels as you can to attract people in, to get people to opt in for those notifications. That's one way of going about it. But if it's just a one-time live and you want to promote this live, you're not quite sure how it's going to go, you don't have a huge amount of budget for it, then I really think going the route of creating a Facebook event on your Facebook page and then promoting that event is probably how I would tackle it. I think I would avoid staying away from the absolute simplest route, which is just creating a post to talk about it and promoting that just to spread awareness, because I think it's a little bit of a waste of your marketing dollars when it comes to Facebook ads.
Another organic thing that we do, not ads related, sorry, but I like the idea, and we do it, and it works for quite a bit for us, is we make a story every week usually about our show, and we do a countdown, and then people can click to get reminded when that countdown hits. and then boom, it's just like, oh, there's shows going on, and then they have to go to your page or whatever. But that's another one that I just thought of. It's not, sorry, it's not ads related, but I like it.
We're talking about a live streaming boot camp here, Tony. I love it. I love it.
But do it. No one said it. I'm sure someone must have said it in this. But if they didn't, now you have an.
There you go. You have it. But I want to point out though that there's a huge perception that it's easy to promote your live stream. And I think it really was easy quite some time ago. The rules are getting a little more difficult. Facebook is changing constantly and changing daily. And that's why even us two ads experts, we have our Facebook Managing Expectations live show. And we're not pumping a lot of dollars into it because of all the hoops and hurdles that you do have to jump through. It's not as easy as it used to be. So what we're doing is we are focusing more on perfecting our content, and then we're taking snippets of that content and repurposing that content and using those additional little snippets from within our lives, using those as contents to promote as ads to promote ourselves and promote our content and promote what we're doing. So we're finding that is a little more of a more effective approach versus trying to boost an entire hour-long live stream where somebody was dropping an F-bomb and somebody, was cussing in the comments.
Guilty.
Which which happens often on our show, apparently. So rather than trying to jump through all of Facebook's loopholes, trying to promote live streams immediately or exactly when they're done their live to promote people to opt in for the next one, we've just been getting more and more creative, leveraging messenger marketing chatbots, leveraging organic tactics, and using our ad dollars in other creative ways, such as getting people to opt into email lists and getting them into our marketing mix in one way or another, so that they're well aware that we have a live stream. So those are some thoughts that I had on the live stream.
We're omni-channel with our show.
Omni-channel.
And that's what you want to be.
The 2020 buzzword, the omni-channel.
Yeah, be everywhere.
Yeah. But I mean, in true spirit of managing ad expectations, it really is about managing your expectations on what you hope to get out of it. So if you're going in to promote a live and you have a small budget that you want to put behind it, ask yourself truly, what metrics count to you? What's most important? Is it getting more live viewers on while you're live? Or is it getting more high quality people who are going to turn into repeat viewers? And I would lean more toward the latter, because Facebook is moving into the direction much like YouTube, where viewership counts, repeat viewers count. The amount of time they're spending watching your content counts. So if you just want to boost your numbers and get as many people watching live as you possibly can, you can do that and you can put a lot of money behind it, but they might not be the highest quality of viewers. And I think, again, with managing ad expectations, you need to understand that the average person watching a live is not sticking around for a whole hour to watch you go live, depending on what the nature of the event is. If it's a political address, then perhaps they might. If it's a full concert, perhaps they might. If it's Tony and I yammering on about what we think about Facebook ads, we generally get people that'll come around, stick around for segments of 7 to 10 minutes, which is on the upper end. But most likely people cruising on by, drop in, stick around for a few minutes, give us a comment or two, give us a little nod that they were there, and then they mosey on their way. And occasionally they stop in when we're dropping some real good knowledge bombs, and they hang on a little bit tighter. So if you're setting your expectations on getting those repeat viewers that are going to help your metrics when it comes to Facebook's algorithm, which is going to help your organic reach, which is going to help you all the way down the road at bringing your ad costs down in the long run, which is kind of the whole reason we do a live stream anyway, is really much more of a valuable metric than just getting more and more and more eyeballs to see your content. So the quality of those viewers really does count. So when it comes to looking at your objectives and how you're promoting it, who you're targeting, where you're doing your pre-promotion, the quality of those people that you're getting snagged up into your marketing funnel, I think it's quite important. Any thoughts on that, Tony?
That was really well said. That was just inspirational.
And scene.
A tear came out of my eye.
Oh my God.
No, yeah, that's it. Like, you had some good points there too, and I think one of them too is not every show you're gonna hit it out of the park too. Like, sometimes there's gonna be breaking news or something that you just know people are going to be really interested in, or a bigger event. Like, we had our show, we went to Social Media Marketing World, right? And we had all these different Facebook ads experts on our show. And I was like, this is amazing. That is one that would be great to put more money into, right? And some of these other ones where we're we're having these topics that some people haven't shown as much interest about maybe before when we were promoting it. So keep that in mind too, that not every show might be like a show you want to dump tons of money into. So you kind of trying to gauge people before, if you can, see what people are interested in. And then if it is one of those hot topics, then think about how can I leverage one of these strategies and start putting more time into that.
Another tip if you are going to promote your live stream is watching your thumbnail images. So if you do try to promote a live stream post promotion, so once your live has ended and you want to use that live to promote so that you can snag more people watching so that they are aware that you have a live show and that they'll hopefully subscribe with whatever method you're using to subscribe for next week's notifications. If you're trying to promote that, your thumbnail image is critical, because if you have too much text in your thumbnail image, then Facebook won't let you promote it. And I've noticed that when we use Ecamm and we live stream and we pull comments up on screen, which is a huge engagement tactic, and I highly recommend that you do that, I noticed that the thumbnails automatically gravitate to the ones that have the most text in them and take up half the screen. So we have to go back after the fact and we have to edit the thumbnails for the broadcast and change it to something a little more toned down on the text. And then that's how we would be able to promote that. Another couple tips, we cross-post. Tony and I cross-post. This is what we do. We just cross-post. That's how we roll. But you won't...
What is cross-posting if people don't know?
Cross-posting is where the Facebook broadcast is going to originate on one page. Now, you can enable cross-posting with another Facebook page, such as, if the broadcast originates on the Digital Gals Facebook page, but Tony wants to post it on his Tony Does Ads page, but make that post look authentic. So make it look like it's not a shared post. He can cross-post it. So I've enabled cross-posting on Tony's page. He can go in and see that video that I have pre-scheduled for the Facebook Live. He can cross-post it to his page, and then viewers can watch it on his page as though we were live broadcasting right from Tony Does Ads. Now, one thing to keep in mind on that is that as we're broadcasting from the source post from the Digital Gal, I can see all the comments on the Digital Gal's Facebook page on our live stream, and I can bring those comments up on screen. But the people commenting on Tony's broadcast, which looks like that's where the broadcast is originating from, all those comments we can't see. Unless Tony has a second screen up and is paying attention to his own Facebook page. But we can't
Usually not.
We can't bring those comments up on screen. So that's what cross-posting is. And when it comes to Facebook advertising, you're going to run into some issues with trying to promote a post that has been cross-posted to your page. So keep that in mind if you're trying to put ad dollars on a post that was cross-posted to your page and not originating on your page. So keep that in mind as you're moving forward with your ads strategy on if you want to put a whole bunch of money behind a live stream that you did to pre-promote the next live stream. You might run into some challenges there.
Yeah, and I think you can do it, but you have to kind of go into the technical side of giving everyone access to everything on your page to be able to promote it. So keep that definitely in mind. And then too, you're talking about thumbnails and optimizing that. I think too, I have to say now copy, because I'm such a copywriting nerd. But yeah, like you want to know that too, especially if you're going to be targeting any audience that doesn't know about your show. Think about what you're going to say for what's the hook that people are going to, what's going to grab their attention when they're scrolling their feed that they might see. What's kind of the value that you're guaranteeing that they're going to get by watching your show. Make sure that's all kind of in your copy and laid out really nicely for someone so they grab onto it and want to stay watching.
Exactly. So I think we've jammed a lot of tips in here, and we've kind of meandered all over the map. So let's bring it back. So let's review here. When you go to do a Facebook Live, there's pre-promotion and there's post-promotion. Pre-promotion is what everybody wants, but pre-promotion has gotten a lot more difficult. So we have a lot of tips for you if you want to use any of your content for promotion, for promoting an upcoming Facebook Live show. Make sure you don't have any profanity in it. Make sure that you don't have more than 20% text in your thumbnail images for your videos if you're using video. If you're using a static image to promote it, same. Watch your text. Watch the amount of text that you have. And make sure that post follows the Facebook ads policies. Facebook ads policies. Yes, that's it. There's quite a few different policies out there, but it's specifically Facebook's ad policies that you need to pay the closest attention to. Google it, read it first. It's going to save you a lot of hassle in the long run. It's not that hard to read. And then once we graduate into trying to promote the upcoming live, Tony, what are our 3 beginner, intermediate, and advanced ways of doing it?
Yeah, so to recap, our beginner is going to be kind of making a post talking about your show, or maybe doing kind of like the hype trailer post, posting that on your page and then boosting that out to people. So that's kind of the easy way.
And that does not include a link to the live show itself.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Just talking about maybe the show, whatever it might be. A good added tip. Sorry, we're doing the recap, but if you're doing a video, at the very end of the video, maybe have some sort of call to action related to your show, or make sure they know what time and how relevant, weekly, recurring your show is. Tell them all that. All right. Next one is the intermediate level, which is going and actually creating an event page for your show, making that recurring if it's recurring, or
Event
kind of
page
those
on
one-offs.
Facebook, just so we're not confusing people.
Yep.
That you don't have to go and make a
True.
separate website or send them to some event or an Eventbrite or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's creating a Facebook event.
Yep, create a Facebook event, and then you can go into that, or you can go to your page. There's a little blue button called promote. Click on that, and then click the event and promote that, and get it's sort of a boosted post, engagement post for that event. And then kind of the final two-ish ones are the advanced, and that's more of leveraging bots for, a standalone ad or a comment on a post type bot, which again, you said is a kind of a one-time notification that they can get. So if you are doing that recurring show, you got to keep bringing them back and getting them to do it again. So keep that in mind. And then the other one is to start to make an ad and build that email list up. And if you don't have an email list, you should start one probably today anyway. But leverage your email list. And if you don't have that built up, and still work on building that up as time goes on, and then just give people incentive to come and check out your show. Maybe that is beforehand with a giveaway or something, or maybe it's, at the beginning of every day that the show is, or even after the show with a recap post, and then talking about that next week and then reminding them to show up then for that next week for more value there as well. And there is the recap.
I love that. That is awesome, Tony. I love how your voice just goes from like, here's what we're doing, and it's just going to happen. I did have one last thought while you were recapping, and what was that? It was along the lines of one-time notifications and bots and ads, because that's what we're talking about, and it has slipped my mind entirely. Overall, back on the recap strategy. Have a game plan on what you want to achieve going into this, and then collect your assets that you're going to use. Make a game plan. Are you going to use a static image to promote your live stream? Are you going to use a highlight reel video to promote your live stream? Are you going to use an event, create an event, and then promote that event? Again, your event cover, making sure you don't have more than 20% text in that event cover image. Or are you going to use an actual post that's linking to a bot? Or are you going to be using posts that link to your email? Are you going to be using ads that link to a lead form to grow your email list? Are you going to use ads that link to Facebook Messenger? So the analogy I use is that the fastest way to go is using the highway. But sometimes the highway is going to be congested and is not the path of least resistance for you. So sometimes you have to take some side roads. And those side roads can be any combination of those various things. You might do all three. You might have a static post that you're promoting, hey, we go live every Tuesday with managing expectations. You might have a Facebook event where you've boosted the event and it's circulating and people can click on get reminder. And then you might also have posts promoting your bot links where people can click on that bot, get into that bot conversation, and get a one-time notification. You might be leveraging all three, or you might be doing things like using some more creative incentives with contests or additional incentives, giveaways within the bot just to get them to take action saying, yes, I want the reminder in order to get that wonderful giveaway. And that was a little hat tip to Kelly Noble Mirabella on showing us how to do that. And that's been a great way to boost engagement. But the days, the thought's coming back. The days and the times you're going to see advertisers out there who are running bots or are running ads where people can engage once and then they're getting a notification every single week. And I'm just going to say now, you don't know what it looks like in everyone's back end of their bot or back end of their Facebook. Some people are doing it in a compliant way. Some people are not, but they can still get away with it. We as advertising experts are not going to recommend that to you because we don't want your page getting shut down or your messenger getting restricted. And that's what can happen if you try and bend the rules. Yes, there are some advertisers out there who are doing it right now because there's a huge changeover in how the rules are working right now. So there's a little bit of confusion in the industry and it's hard to navigate right now. But over time, time, the rules are tightening to reduce and restrict the opportunity for spam, and so that people aren't getting inbox fatigue. We do not want to be getting a ton of notifications and not knowing how to turn them off after we opted into something once and where and can't remember how. So that's why permission-based marketing is extremely important, making sure that you have the opt-in, making sure you have permission every step of the way, and to get permission, especially if you're using bots, permission for a specific event that's happening at a specific time where people have opted in to receive updates on that particular event, that's important. So it's not just a one click and all of a sudden people are getting notified for every time you go live. That magical unicorn no longer exists. So don't set your expectation based on what you've seen people do in the recent past. Times are changing. Got to keep up with the times. And it's not as easy as it looks. So... This is
feel good now.
This is the segment of the boot camp where I take a big breath. I'm glad I got all that out. I make fun of Tony for like blah 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 blah. And I have the opposite. I'm like, let me shove all this information at you as hard as I can.
Well, things do change. So I think like a good way of kind of rounding this out is maybe we give them ways that if they are confused, if they have more questions after this, how can they reach out to someone for help? Maybe it's you, maybe it's me, maybe it's our handles.
You just watch our Managing Expectations show every Tuesday on either my page or Tony's page, The Digital Gal, or or Tony Does Ads. I'm kidding. Okay, that was a good plug. I tried to slip it in there. If you need help with understanding how this works, there are several ways of getting help. There's one-on-one direct help coaching with either myself or Tony. You can reach out to either of us. I'm Amanda Robinson at The Digital Gal, and
I'm Tony Christensen at Tony Does Ads everywhere.
So you can reach out to either of us. We're more than happy to help. Both of us have varying levels of support that we can either send you resources, or we have different levels of training, whether that's one-on-one or group training or different programs. So there's lots of different varying levels on how to get you support when it comes to this. But if you are a fellow live streamer, welcome to the club. And it's worth it if you put the work and the time and the effort into structuring and planning how you're going to do your show and how you're going to promote that show. The rewards, the benefits really do come trickling in when you're doing it consistently.
Yeah, very well said. All right. Any last words?
I feel like we kept this on topic for the most part, which is very hard for us when we're both, geeking out on ads. It can go in any random direction. So I think overall, I think it's about experimenting. Make sure you're trying new things, experimenting. The tips that we've given you, there's so many other things we could have gone down the road of, but I think this is the more simplified, streamlined, straight up, this is how you do it way, and here are the tips that you got to watch out for to not get caught along the way. So I think anything more would just be confusing. What do you think, Tony?
I think so. Yeah, I think we're good. I think everyone should be good. I think, if the easiest way, if you're new, if you haven't done a lot of the more advanced stuff, I would try to work on doing that event and boosting that event. So set up an event for your show, boost that out. And with that too, you can add, an image or a video. So I think that if you can do that, it's great. If you've never ran ads, if you've struggled to make an event, focus on probably just boosting the post there.
Yeah, I think
boom.
I think that's it. So there you go. This is everything you need to know about Facebook advertising tactics to promote your live stream, part of Ecamm's Leap into Live Streaming Bootcamp. I am Amanda Robinson. I am the Digital Gal.
And I'm Tony Christensen. Tony Does Ads.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Thanks, everybody. And we'll see you every Tuesday live streaming from our pages. Ciao.
See ya.